to the bad guy. Yeah, Chico. Yeah, Chico. You're talking to the bad guy. Toothpicking your eye. I'm that guy. Hey, yo. Look, something happened to these, something happened to you, okay?
What's going on, everybody? It's Coach Bob on SMACM World. I have a very special guest. Introduce yourself, please.
Coach Seber, Windham from Biloxi High School.
Man, appreciate you, Coach Windham. Man, before we start rolling this interview in, man, we edify, give you your just due, man, and really would appreciate what you do for the city of Biloxi, the community of Biloxi, man, how you just impact lives every year in and out, man. Over 25 years of coaching experience, man. I've never heard anyone say anything bad about you in the Biloxi community. Probably never will, because, I mean, you're just a stand-up guy, man. I know it come from my dad is from Biloxi. He would say he remember when you were a young kid, when your parents taught and coached at Nichols High School, Nichols Middle School and elementary around that time in East Biloxi area. So, man, I'm really glad to have you on here, man. Just because my dad think highly of your family, the Windham family, man. I really appreciate you, man. Come on.
I thank you guys for having me. My mom and dad taught at Nichols when it was the all-black school before they integrated. And then when they integrated, my mom and dad went over to the Biloxi school system. My mom was the first black head coach there. She was the basketball coach there in the 70s. Wow. She was the girls basketball coach in the 70s. So I'm just kind of following my mother's footsteps.
Absolutely.
My dad was the baseball coach for the Biloxi Dodgers, a Negro League team. And so he got a chance to coach against like Satchel Paige and Jackie Robinson. And so just a lot of history in Biloxi. So I just kind of followed their footsteps, and just a blessing to have parents like that to show me and guide me the way of being a coach the correct way.
Coach, you just dropped the gem, man. You just dropped some facts, some black history facts, whatever you want to call it, just fact, Mississippi facts with Biloxi. I didn't realize we had a Negro League team. I think I kind of had I heard Rip Daniels speak on it before. Man, that's a big deal. You just said that like it was just, casual, but man, that's a great example to have and go from. So we know your parents impacted your life and why you in the coaching community, the coaching circle. So I see why you coach, man. You learn from your parents, man. That's a great example, man. Everybody's not, fortunate and blessed to have that, man. Yeah. So I'm glad your parents set that bar for you so where you could impact kids in the Biloxi school district, man. So, Coach, man, I just want to kind of get in your journey as far as your playing days, growing up in West Biloxi, man. Kind of give us, growing up on that time in the 80s, man. That was a golden era of basketball. Yes. Kind of give us what your journey was like.
Yeah, I went to Michelle Middle School, played there, and then I went on to play at Biloxi High School. I'm from West Biloxi. Like I said, my mother and dad kind of taught in East Biloxi. So I got a chance to play basketball at Biloxi High School. Play a little football there. Of course, back in the golden era, you played everything.
Everything.
It wasn't no talk when you came home. You're gonna go to football. Yeah. You're gonna go to basketball. You're gonna go to baseball, and then you're gonna run some track.
Absolutely.
I mean, there was no discussion about it back then.
Right.
But I got a chance to go play for Jackie Laird. Which is a legend, legend in Biloxi. We kind of share some stories about turning off the lights, and and the place would go crazy in that small gym or whatnot. So it's just been a blessing to play for them. Then we got a chance to play in the back-to-back state championship team, and I played with some phenomenal players, phenomenal guys. From Eddie Thomas to James McCarthy to Jesse Ratliff to Jarrell Nunley and Eric Mosley and Gordon Andrews, Julius Hobbs. I can just keep going. I'm just great guys, and we're still a family. We Coach Larry does like a little birthday party, and we go over there and celebrate his birthday party. So we all still celebrate those state championship teams.
Man, that 89-90 team is, you can argue, probably one of the best, ain't too many people went back-to-back. And a crazy story is 87-88, Gulfport went back-to-back, and then y'all came right behind them.
Yes.
So people don't realize the coast basketball, when I call it the golden era.
Absolutely. From
the 80s on the 90s, you were contending for a state championship. You did mention about that, one of my favorite moments when the game started. They cut the lights off when they get ready to do the lineup.
Right.
When they announced it, man, that was probably, I told you off camera, man. My dad took us to one of your games when you played. I was 5 years old. I would never forget they cut those lights off. I thought I was in Chicago Stadium.
Right.
I thought the Bulls was playing.
No doubt.
And my dad he was laughing. I said, "Man, this is the Chicago Bulls. Oh, these are Chicago Bulls." He said, "No, this is the Biloxi High School, man."
Right.
That those time, man. Who was one of the best players? I know you named who was the best player on that team. I'll kind of put you on the spot. I know you're brothers, man, but who?
Yeah,
but I mean, everybody
absolutely.
got to know, man.
Yeah, I mean everybody. I mean, just I got to give them guys their flowers.
Yes, sir.
Eddie Thomas was tremendous. James McCarthy was tremendous. Jarrell Nunley, one of the best athletes ever come through Biloxi. Big time high flyer. Jesse Ratliff, I spoke with him. Just a lot of great, fantastic players. Garland Andrews, one of the best all-around players, could play any position.
Garland Andrews, I didn't realize he played. I met him before.
Did you? Yeah, Garland Andrews. I mean, he could play the point guard, 2 guard, 3, 4, and 5. He was about 6'3", 6'4". Yep. Just to be honest with you, I think there was one time where like one of the SEC schools came in and looked at Garland. You know what I'm saying? He was a guy that, one time was our 6th man. You know what I'm saying? We had that much talent. We probably had off the 88, 89 team, we probably had at least 12, 13 guys go play college basketball.
That's just show you how much depth you guys had back then, man. It was really fun to watch those teams run up and down that court, man. Right. I know y'all was like a fast break team back in the day, man. I remember. I'm telling you, I was 5 years old. I wasn't a normal 5-year-old, man, because I was always in tune to the game. I loved the game of basketball and football, so those were my 2 favorite sports, and track as well. But it was always fun, watching those teams back then, 89, 90, man. I was a youngster, but I remember. Yeah. So, man, after your back-to-back stint with your teammates, you got the chance to further your education. Where did you go?
Well, I was blessed to go to William Carey University.
Crusaders.
To the Crusaders up in Hattiesburg, and I played baseball and basketball, so I got a dual scholarship.
Okay, coach, I didn't know that. I didn't know you played baseball.
I played baseball, played center field, played a little infield, so I got a chance to go up there and play both of them. So I played for Bobby Hawford, which is still up there. He's a legendary baseball coach. And then I got a chance to play for Coach Steve Knight, which is a legendary coach at William Carey. Been there 30-something years.
Oh, man.
He's a Hall of Famer, and if I'm not mistaken, he holds the most wins in the state of Mississippi as a head coach.
Man, wow.
So I got a chance to learn from the best.
Got you.
Even though I was at a small school, I got a chance to learn I always say the correct way to coach.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And, didn't have the background from my mother and father. My foundation was set.
Yeah.
And I tell you a quick story. Okay. My mother used to drag me into a coaching clinic, and the coaching clinic was Burt Jenkins.
Oh, wow.
And so I was that 5, 6-year-old kid like yourself, sitting in there with all these coaches. It'd be 100 coaches listening to Burt Jenkins.
Yeah. And
he would keep my attention at a 5 or 6-year-old. And I can remember some of the stuff that Burt Jenkins talked about. And legendary coach. Yeah. He might have been the best coach ever come through state of Mississippi.
Absolutely. I agree
and I'm a Biloxi Indian. Saying about a Gulfport Avenue, but I can just the respect that I have for Burt Jenkins, man, he was just a phenomenal guy and phenomenal coach.
Absolutely, man. You got to basically go around a library, man, and you had all those great coaches in those clinics, man. You don't have no choice but to absorb the energy.
Absolutely.
Man, so obviously you just told us who your coaching impact was, your parents. You had your coaches at William Carey to give you some foundation, man. After you get your degree, did you go get your master's, or did you just get your bachelor's and get into teaching? How did that go?
Yeah, I guess the story is that I came home. Might have been a senior. No. I graduated, came home. Got my degree in communication. Went to WLOX. Wanted to be in communication.
Wow.
And so was talking to AJ Jardina and whatnot. I was going to go try to work with him, but he didn't have no spots left.
Okay.
So I had to get real world, and the bills was coming. You know what I'm saying? So I got to go to work. So I went and worked at the casino for a couple months, and I might have been visiting my dad, went to my dad's house. I said, "What you doing tonight?" He said, "Going to a Pascagoula game. Biloxi playing Pascagoula." I said, "Okay." So I went to the Pascagoula game, and I'm sitting there watching and whatnot, enjoying the game and whatnot. So after the game's over with. After the game, Coach Pugh, which is the coach then, he succeeded Jackie Laird. Right. He walks up to me after the game. The horn goes up, and he walks up to me and says, "Seber," I said, "I need you to come see me in the back." I said, okay. I said, well, Dad, give me about 15 minutes, I'll be out, because I roll with my dad. So I go in the back, and I talked to Coach Pugh, and he said, I need you. I said, what, Coach, what you mean you need me? He said, I need you to come back and coach. Wow. He said, you're the guy. And, you know, just looking back on then now, that's when I know God placed me where I was supposed to be.
Absolutely.
You know, I could have been anywhere that night.
You picked any other game that night.
Yeah. Any other game. He comes, picks me out and says, Seber, I need you. And so I go work for him, and I'm an assistant coach, I'm the head JV coach, and I work for him for 4 or 5 years, had great tutelage. John Pugh's a great guy, fantastic coach. He won two state championships. And funny thing now, he's coming back and he's helping me.
Oh,
he's
wow.
like a volunteer. He comes around and helps me now. So we just keep everything in the family.
That's awesome.
And so, you know, I got a chance to work under him. Then he decided to retire and go into administration, which most coaches do.
Right.
And so I applied for the job. I'm young. I'm 29. You know, whatnot. I was 29 years old. I applied for the job. Didn't really expect to get the job. You know, but being a Biloxi guy, and you know, I always say, just, you know, if you do things the right way, God's gonna bless you.
Absolutely.
And so I just felt like if you do things the right way, you treat kids the right way, you love on them and tell them when they're wrong and right or whatnot. And then God blessed me and said, Coach Seber Windham, you're gonna be the next head basketball coach at Biloxi High School. And that's when I started, you know, in that 95 season.
See, that's why I said it's so much to people's journey that you don't know. You know, Coach Pam have a similar beginning, and he went to the casinos and worked, and then you know got into coaching as well. Man, that's pretty cool. So we know you got 2 state championships as a player. Talk about that first experience when I think it was 01.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong. 2001, you was an assistant coach.
That's right.
And you won one in 04. That was my senior year. Y'all beat us in the district championship.
Yeah.
Talk about that experience as a coach now.
Yeah.
You got a chance to impact kids as a coach. Talk about that.
It's great to impact kids. Being assistant coach is a whole lot different than being a head coach.
Right.
So I was, you know, whenever I'm assistant coach, I get a chance to really sit down and get close to the guys. And it was good back then because I could play a little bit too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'd come in the gym on Saturday, open up the gym and we roll about it and we play. And so you get a chance to play with those guys. So you talking about I'm younger. You know, these guys are 16, 17 year olds, so they're looking up to me like that.
Right.
And then after the ball stopped, you know, we stop and sit down and we talk about life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We talk about God.
That's what it's about.
Yeah, that's what it's about. You talk about the real things or whatnot. Talk about, you know, the dumb stuff that people are doing, and you don't need to play with guns. You know, you don't need to play with weed. You know, you don't need to do this. You need to drink. And I always tell them, I said, this basketball can take you a lot of places.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And you know, for my experience, a lot of the kids believe me, and they use that basketball as a vessel to take them places.
Yeah, those 01s and 04 teams, that's you was a part of, man. They was some ballers. I remember we had go for it. I got moved up to JV, and it was my 9th grade year, and we had to go to Biloxi to play you guys at the old gym.
Yeah.
Just before y'all moved to the new gym, the new arena. Shea Christie stole the ball, and he did a 360 dunk in the game. And everybody was running on the floor. You know, that was still the back end of the golden era.
Sure.
And people went crazy, and Coach Caldwell had he called time out, and everybody was just looking at each other like, man, did he just do a 360, man? So, you know, those moments in the 04 team, you had, you know, Carlos Riley, Nunn, what was Javarius Nunn, and you had Jermaine Parker was on that team, man. Deep, it was a deep basketball team, man. It was deep. What's the young man that I can't think his name? He signed with Vanderbilt. Juwan Brown. He was a dog.
He was a dog, absolutely.
But Nunn, I got close to Nunn at Perker. We went to Gulf Coast together. But he dunked on my boy, man. He dunked on Henry.
He dunked on Henry, and that changed the whole season.
Took the air out the
It took the whole deal.
It was like he just dunked on him. We about to lose. Right. We was the number 1 team in the state at that time.
Yeah, y'all were really good.
Was really good, man. Coach Greaves did a good job that year. But that was some good times, man. You know, 04, 05. Then you get your first one under your belt as a head coach in 09.
Right.
Talk about that a little bit, Coach.
You know, like I said, being a head coach is a little bit different because your responsibilities are different.
Absolutely.
So I got a chance to bring a young group. I seen a young group come up in the junior high, and it was a perfect scenario where I seen a young guard down there who had really good skills, really good IQ, and could really play. His name is Isaiah Cannon. And so I said, man, there's my point guard. There was a group behind him who was named Jeremiah Dunnings. Could really, really shoot the basketball. Fantastic compared to one of the better players came through Biloxi. He was a two guard. And then we had another guy named DeMontre McCormick. Went to Gulfport and then came back to Biloxi and whatnot. He was 6'5", long. He was a three guy. Then we had a guy down low, his name Tevin Poe. He was kind of the trash guy, which you need a four-man. And then I had a big sitter named Guy Payne, who actually signed at Alcorn, coming out of, and then he went to William Carey with Jeremiah and whatnot. So it was kind of the perfect storm. And then I had some pieces behind him with Curtis Haynes and Marcus Lawton and those guys and whatnot, Corey Jackson. And so I had a really deep team, and so we was able to make that run. We was the underdog. Or whatnot, because you had to go up against Rodney Hood's team in Meridian, which was the pro. They were number 1 team, we were number 2 team, so we beat them. And then the next step, we had to go beat Brandon at Brandon. Brandon had 6'10", 6'11" Tyler Adams, another guard, DJ Evans, just a really good team. We upset them at home. Then we play Jackson, Jim Hill. They were really good, and people knew we was for real then, because people didn't really know about us. Coach, because we had to kind of go through Jackson.
Yeah, you had to go through the gauntlet.
You had to go through the gauntlet. So we played Jim Hill in the semifinal, and they had 2 6'7" kids there. Jim Hill's always really, really good, and we kind of made a statement. We beat them like by 40 in the semifinal. And then people was like, like for real. Yeah. But and then for the state championship, we had to play Provine. Provine has won like 2 or 3 state championship back to back. Very well coached, and they had like Jalen Courtney, who was going to LSU. They had a Danny Dozen going to UAB. The point guard went to Ole Miss. They were deep. And so they were highly favored over us. And they were 6'7", highly favored over us. But I just knew that I knew I had some special kids, and Isaiah and Jeremiah, them guys. And we went to overtime. When we went to overtime, I said, we got them, guys. Yeah. I said, we got them. And I remember that the first play of overtime, they've been double teaming Isaiah the whole game. So the ball somehow found Isaiah. He's deep. He's right by my bench. I said, let it go. And he let it go, and he hit nothing in the bottom. I was like, state championship.
It's over with. Yeah, absolutely, man. Do you remember what suit you had on?
I had an all white suit.
All white. He was clean, man. Coach, you definitely one of the most,
I had a
clean cut,
suit.
Man. Yeah, man. You were clean that day, man.
I'm never gonna wear that suit again, though. That's it.
Hung it up. You hung it up, man.
And why I wore that suit is a store buying that suit. Why I wore that suit is because whenever we wore white, we never lost in white the whole year. I think we was like 19-0, 20-0 in white. So that's why we got a white suit, and we never lost it in white uniform.
See, people may not know that, man. That's what's up, man. Coach, man, you definitely, that's 5, right? You got 5 Biloxi. People may not know this. As a player, the coach, you've been a part of every state championship of Biloxi. Man, I talk to Ian August all the time. I say, man, Coach Seber is he's a walking monument, man. He's really a history. He's a monument, man. Like, he's been a part of every state championship of Biloxi, man. They're gonna have to make a statue up outside the gym or name the gym after him after he finished playing coaching. So I think that was just real dope and real great, man. Just to know that. I was trying to segue to the golden era of basketball, man. How can we get it back a little bit, man? Because we were down for some years.
Yeah, we was.
And I'm glad people like you and coaches are honest. Like, we were down, man. Yeah. But is it a way? Can we get it back?
I think it is. It's gonna come with hard work. It's gonna come with your community all buying in, and everybody. At the end of the day, you got to get in the gym.
Yeah,
you
got to work.
You got to put that work. You got to get off them games.
Can't play 2K.
Yeah, you got to play 2K. You got to get in the park. You know what I'm saying? Where where you get knocked down, on that concrete. Yeah. So I think it's there, but but we have a high standard too, because you're talking about the golden era. Cause, man, you're talking about, and people don't realize when you had, in the late 80s, you had Pascagoula with Dale Brown, Isaac Brown, Tony Harvey. So you're talking about 3 high Division I players. Tony Harvey went to the Lakers, played for the Lakers, 6'10". Gulfport on the other side, you had McMood. On the other side, Boo Hardy, Leonard, all those guys, Coach Miller, all them guys. Right down the street, you had in Moss Point, you had Latrell, and Fruity. We call him Fruity. Booker.
Ballers, man.
Yeah, it was just all over the place. You know what I'm saying? We just had so much talent in that time. So it can be done. The kids just have to get back to work. Coaches gonna be focusing on what they got to do. Right. So I think we will.
Oh, absolutely, man. I think it get there too, man. All right, I ain't gonna hold you much longer, Coach. But What do you feel about a high school actually getting 35-second shot clock?
I think it'd be great. It'd be great for coaching. Coaches got to coach a little bit differently. It'd be great for the kids' IQ of the game, because you got to learn the game.
Right.
And that's what we try to do. As coaches, we try to teach the game, and the really good coaches around here, because there's great coaches around here with Coach Miller. You had Coach Wright on, Coach Pavlis, Coach Hardy. I mean, I can keep going on that. Right. Coach Kelton Thompson. But I think the shot clock would simplify the game, and it would make the game a whole lot better, because at the end of the shot clock, you have to do something, and you can't just hold the ball. Right. And we've all done that.
Everybody star ball.
Yeah, everybody's done that.
I mean, if you win, you up 10.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna just make dumb decisions and give you a chance to come back in the game. So
absolutely.
That's why I don't have a problem with star ball when you're trying to do it. But,
right.
I mean, 35 seconds make definitely a different coaching approach, man. You
does.
can't just hold the ball. You're gonna have to run the offense.
Right.
Or if you want to do ISO or motion, whatever type of offense you like, whatever fits your personnel, then you would have to execute that.
You gotta execute.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
But it would help the game, definitely.
It definitely will, man. So you and Coach Pav came up with the South Mississippi Showcase All-Star Game. Love it. Been over 10 years since you guys doing. What made you and Coach Pav come together and say, man, let's just start something?
Yeah, it was just something that me and Coach Pav was talking about. We talked about it for about a year or two, and just kind of threw some ideas and whatnot. It was just one day, and we might have just been in his office, in my office, because like I said, we're best of friends, and we talk all the time. And he's like, let's do it.
Yeah.
And we didn't know how it was going to turn. It might have been 2 people that come. And kids might say, I don't want to play. We had no idea.
Right.
So we just
it's scary.
Yeah, it is. It is, especially when you start something. You don't know what. Almost like starting a business.
Right.
You start a business, you kind of go out on a ledge. You don't know what's going to happen.
Right.
But the main thing was that we had so many good players down here on teams, from Gulfport and Biloxi and Pascagoula, all these great schools. And you look up in the North-South All-Star game, you had one
Coast representative.
just one, sometimes none.
Yeah.
So I was like, man, we got to do so. We got to have our own thing.
Yep.
And so we did that, and it just kind of blossomed, and we look up, and now we have great, fantastic support from the Gulf Coast. I love the Gulf Coast.
Yeah, absolutely.
Gulf Coast is one of the best places ever, and the basketball community is great.
Right.
And so they always come out and support the kids. The kids are always excited to play. We have fantastic coaches that come in and coach and whatnot, and so it's just become a blessing.
Absolutely, man. See, man, I'm not gonna hold you. I know you get ready for summer, man. You got tryouts going on. Getting ready for that. Don't let this be your last time, Coach, man. You're more than welcome to come here on SMACM World or the Buys and Bingo Show, man. Man, really appreciate your time, man. Really appreciate what you're doing for the Biloxi, man. Don't let it be your last time. That's all I can say, Coach.
Absolutely. And there's one more thing I need to say.
Go ahead.
One of my biggest things is that I've got a guy now who I coached. It's one of my first years. He's on my first team. And now he's coaching at the Advocate, Robin Sykes.
Oh yeah, Robin Sykes came on here.
And I'm just so proud that whenever you got a kid that you coach, and now you get a chance to coach against him.
Oh man,
that is such a blessing. I mean, God just arranged this or whatnot, and he's been so successful at the Advocate.
Yes, he has. He's changing the culture.
He's changed the culture, and he's won 2 holiday classics.
Hard to do.
Yeah, hard.
That's a big deal.
I've been doing 18 years. I've only won 1.
That's hard to do.
That's hard to do.
He went back to back, too.
He went back to back, absolutely. So you got to give him his flowers.
Yeah, you got to. I definitely had to bring him on, man.
He's done a fantastic job. So I'm just so proud of him. And it kind of makes me look a little bit old when I say that and whatnot.
But man, that's good, man. Wisdom
come
with old, man. But I can't let you go with this. This is the last thing. I'll let you go. Top 5 Biloxi high school basketball player. I got a 3 that's locked that I know that's going to be on your list. I got 3. And I need to know the other 2.
Okay. That's a tough one. So many great players come through. God, that's a tough one.
I agree.
In no particular order.
Right.
I'm going to just throw out the 2 guys who play NBA who I coach.
You got to put them on. That's no brainers.
Isaiah Cannon, who's played 7 years in the NBA. Ronald Dupree played 5 years in the NBA. He now is an executive for the Milwaukee Bucks.
Right.
So proud of him.
Absolutely.
So that's the 2. The next one will be Shea Christie.
Agreed.
Man, just ultra talented guy. Shea Christie, I'm tell you how talented Shea was. His freshman year, he walks into Cameron indoors at Duke, at Clemson. J.J. Redick is guarding him and gives him 29.
Gave him the business.
Absolutely. I mean, he was that dude.
Yeah, he was.
So we kind of talked off camera about him. He was that guy. He was. So those 3 definitely. The 4th one.
It's hard.
I'm going to go with a guy who played with me my first year, head coach, and I was assistant coach when we won the state championship in I think it was 04. Point guard to Carlos Riley.
Absolutely.
Oh, he was salty.
I got a story about him.
Yeah.
We had my freshman year, it was a district championship, and Carlos was in the 8th grade. They bumped him up to play in the 9th grade. I'm like, who is this? He was shifty,
yeah.
Make the passes. Carlos always been a baller, man.
Always.
And he definitely, you can't argue. I mean, you can't argue with that number.
Right.
You can't.
Absolutely.
You
Yeah.
can't argue.
Yeah. The
Led him to the state
championship.
championship.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yep.
Definitely. And so that's 4 guys who I coached.
Yep.
So I got to put one guy who I played with.
Absolutely.
And so the one guy who I played with, which the list could be long, but I'll go with Jesse Ratliff. Was our center on the back-to-back state championship team. Went on to play at North Texas. He actually led the nation in scoring at North Texas at 28 points a game at North Texas. I'm talking about led the nation, so he was leading Duke and North Carolina. He led the whole nation in scoring, so that kind of tells you right there. That kind of speaks for itself. Yeah, so those would be my top 5, and I could keep going on, but those would definitely be my.
There's many more that you could put on there. You could, there's many more, but it's just off the top. It's just thinking of them, man. Yeah. No hard feelings to nobody, man. It's just, it's great players, man. But Coach, man, I sure appreciate your time, man.
Thank you.
I'm glad you came on. This Coach Boz here, man. Coach Windham here, man. SMACM World. See you next time.
Yeah, Chico, talking to the bad guy. Yeah, Chico. Yeah, Chico, you're talking to the bad guy. Toothpicking your eye. I'm that guy. Hey, y'all. Look, something happened to these, something happened to you, okay?